Don't forget that all of the action is set for this weekend as the New Patriotic Party goes into that crucial internal context to elect its national executives. From the party, it's ready and set to roll. I've been at the Accra Sports Stadium to gauge the mood ahead of the National Delegates Conference.
This is the Accra Sports Stadium. It's playing host to over 6,000 delegates of the New Patriotic Party who converge here in less than 24 hours for that crucial reorganization exercise. It's the National Delegates Conference of the New Patriotic Party, and Joy News is here ahead of that special exercise to gauge the mood as some candidates battle it out for 10 slots, national slots that will be up for contest in the next 24 hours. In fact, as you can see around me, there's a lot of activities happening, and quite a number of party officials are already arriving ahead of that exercise. But there's a need for us to hear from the party to check out what exactly it is that the party has to install ahead of that very crucial exercise. Let's speak to the communications director of the governing New Patriotic Party, lawyer Boabeng Asamoah, who will help us understand the preparations ahead of that exercise. Good afternoon to you, Council. You're live on Joy News.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, would you say that the party is ready for the exercise come tomorrow?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can see that the place is already coming alive. At the moment, we are not expecting delegates within the presence of the venue, but a lot of them are coming. It's almost like a tourist site. They are coming to see the preparations. On field, everything is ongoing, and behind the scenes, other structures are in place. So we are ready.
Over 6,000 delegates, as we understand, will be participating in this exercise. Would you say that you've put in place the adequate measures to contain any eventualities that may happen? It's not as though we're expecting it, that something bad will happen at the conference, but would you say that you've put in place good structures for the organization of this exercise?
By the grace of God, first we need to transport delegates. That's happening already. A setup is structured, is happening. We need to house them, board and lodging. That is also happening. And tomorrow we'll need to manage access to the venue, and that's within the jurisdiction of the security services. They are ready and organized. Access will be by accreditation, and anybody who is supposed to have accreditation will have accreditation. Without accreditation, you can't enter the precincts. Once we are in here, as long as you are in here with accreditation, you know your job. Those who are going to vote know that they are here to vote. Those who are going to be voted for know that they are here to be voted for. So everybody will operate and conduct themselves within the area that they came for. So we don't expect anything to go wrong. Absolutely not.
Even before we get into that exercise, we've seen quite a heavy campaign exercise, but almost all of the candidates, you agree. What is accounting for this mad rush, if I could use that word, for the party positions, the executive positions within the NPP this time round?
I think the NPP remains the most attractive political organization in Ghana's political landscape at the moment. You will realize that we have a tradition, and our principles, our concepts, our policies are those that favor Ghanaian families. They are those that protect Ghanaian families. So more or less, once it's NPP, people have the feeling that if you want to serve your nation, then you best serve the nation through the NPP by sacrificing to support the NPP and get on board. As we speak, from a high of 52 persons who expressed interest by purchasing forms, we now have 46 who are firm and running on the day for 10 positions.
That's still a lot, you agree?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's this enthusiasm to be part of the process. And it's not just at the top. Right from the bottom, when we started the polling stations, you realize there was agitation to get involved. People wanted forms and all that. And throughout, from polling station to coordinator level to constituency level to regional level, the regional elections were very exciting. There were surprises. There were people who had all sorts of permutations. And now we are at national level. And this party that we are going to renew here will have the duty of supporting the government to guide us through a process that will make us more credible for 2024. Because as you are aware, there are events now that are very politically challenging. and not just challenging, but in the context of governance, you need to restore a certain relationship with the people of Ghana. And the NPP is ready to do that. We believe Ghanaians expect more. And we believe Ghanaians believe that we are the ones who can deliver what they expect.
But you do agree that if you do not take care and handle or manage this exercise well, by laying the ground rules which will enhance your unity afterwards, you may lose that united front going into the 2024 election.
Political unity is always under threat, if I may say so, depending on the dynamics of every time that you're in. But this has been a very carefully structured conference, right from the beginning. And the rules are all designed to ensure that we have a level playing field as well as internalize the competition. If we over-externalize the competition, then you create an impression that there is something more than necessary going on. But we managed to calm everything down so that contestants feel and believe and accept that they are engaging the people directly, the people who vote for them, rather than trying to appeal to everybody in Ghana. And I think it has worked. We have ensured that there is very little advertising beyond the Electoral College. We've ensured that candidates conduct themselves within a certain frame, and we've established these principles on the basis that we want to elevate our party towards a point where we will demonstrate a distinction between party activities and national campaign activities. And I think it's working.
What will be your message to delegates who will be going to cast their ballots tomorrow?
They've been engaged by the candidates, 46 even so far. And I think even before these candidates set out, delegates knew the kind of persons that they believed would be able to support them, to support the government, to lead the people of Ghana towards more welfare. And so, within the principles the NPP believes in, the commitments we have to each other, I think delegates will select the right people who will lead this party to victory in 2024.
I'm grateful, Council. And that's the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, lawyer Yao Boabing SMR. We're still here at the Accra Sports Stadium, and for those of you who want to get a feel of what's really happening here, in fact, security is beginning to take a number of proactive measures so as to prevent any breach here. You can also see around some dignitaries and executives of the New Patriotic Party arriving in your shots, and we'll be catching up with some of them just to try as much as possible to engage them. Let's speak to the Director of Elections for the New Patriotic Party, lawyer Evans Nimako, who is also here exercise tomorrow, sir.
I think for now, as a party, we are set for the conduct of our national annual delegate conference. We having all our constituency executives here in town. We bringing together our regional executive committee, our external branch members are all here. Our council of elders and patrons are here, and so we are hoping to have a very successful conference tomorrow. I think we are set to go. Arrangements are far advanced. Discussions with the EC concluded yesterday with the taking over of registers. Candidates have been given registers as well, and so we are set to go.
Party unity, I believe, is what you're on the lookout for. Would you say that you're putting in place measures to ensure that?
The New Patriotic Party thrives on internal competition. It's always been competitive. It's always been elective, and so we are ready, and we've had always structures that deals with our internal mechanisms to ensure that we have a united force to approach every elections we go into. Yes, so we will go through the elections, whatever the outcome, party leadership will sit and engage stakeholders. We are poised to win elections 2024, and so what we are seeing today and tomorrow is the elections of the national officers that will cap the internal elections we began somewhere in January. You know, we did our polling station, we did our electoral area, we've done constituency, we've done our regional elections. And so the national officers are going to be responsible for managing the party for the next 4 years, within which we will go into a major election, presidential and parliamentary. And I can assure you, the new Patriotic Party will emerge victorious in elections 2024.
Just ahead of the exercise, you gave a directive indicating that all billboards be pulled down. What accounted for that decision, and would you say that you've explained that to all candidates, and for some who felt disadvantaged by the directive that you gave?
I think our engagement with candidates, we arrived at this point when the National Council directed that it is important to organize a conference that will respect the rules of the conduct of elections in the country. And you bear me out, on Elections Day, December 7, 2020, you didn't see colors of political parties. You didn't see party supporters in the paraphernalia of their respective parties. And so it's the same we're doing. But we brought it to the attention of candidates, the reason behind the fact that we need to organize a conference that reflects the mood and the nature of the party. And so, I mean, this is the delegate elections. They are known, and if you put in up posters, billboards across the country, it doesn't represent the actual conduct of elections to a large extent. I mean, you know the delegates, constituency executives, you've met them, and so we felt that it was really not going to add to anything if you mount billboards across. And in a way that to keep the city also clean and neat, we decided not to litter the country with the colors of our candidates. And I'm so happy that the candidates have comported themselves, they comply with the directives, and I know they are all ensuring to come out of this conference so united, so powerful for election 2024.
Let's talk finally about security arrangements. As part of the accord you signed with the Peace Council, vigilante groups are not encouraged to be here. So would you say that you're enforcing that strictly ahead of the exercise tomorrow?
In terms of security, we've been in the hands of the police service. We started this our internal elections with the involvement of the Ghana Police Service. We've not departed from it. We've always respected the directives, advice they give. And so, yes, I mean, we're ensuring that security for this conference is mainly in the hands of the Ghana Police Services. And we've had this discussion with all candidates. So it doesn't really have to do with the peace accord signed some years back, but it mainly has to do with the new Patriotic Party showing the tenets of internal democracy that reflects the proper and the legal framework within which elections are to be conducted. And so in terms of security, we are in the hands of the Ghana Police Service. Our delegates are traveling from all over the country, and the police have assured us of maximum security and protection. So we are looking up to that.
Finally, on the dignitaries to expect tomorrow, are we expecting that the president will be here? And who else is expected to be here as part of the conference tomorrow?
The president is a member of National Council, and so is expected to be here. The vice president, the former president, Mr. J. Kufuor, and when the party talks of National Council, it represents senior most party members, and so they are going to be here. Foundation members, our members who sign our registration form document to the Electoral Commission, are going to be here as delegates. We are seeing to it that our national officers who are all delegates to the conference will be here. External branch members are going to be here with their representatives. Our accredited TESCON institutions are going to be here. And so everybody who is on the list as delegate to the conference is definitely going to be here tomorrow.
Your message to the delegates themselves, I'm sure that you want to ensure that you have a united front going into the 2024 elections. What will be your message to over 6,000 persons who will be filing, casting their ballots tomorrow?
Well, these are senior party members per their positions, and it is an opportunity to be part of this whole process. It is time for them to exercise a very onerous responsibility that will propel the party into more electoral victory. And so the decision is theirs, but I hope that the decision they will make will be what will be in the party's interest. All prospective candidates who went through the process and are today wrapping up their campaign are acknowledged and party members of good standing. And so having engaged them over the period, having comported themselves up to this stage, we can only pray for them and hope that this whole process that has been conducted in a more professional manner, in a more transparent and level playing field manner, will produce for us leaders who will help steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years.
Ultimately, the exercise will lead to the election of the presidential candidate. Are there any modalities for that going, knowing that today or tomorrow may be the end of the road for those who would be national executives of the New Patriotic Party? Beyond that, does your mandate extend to the roadmap towards the election of the presidential candidate?
The national officers, when they assume office, will be part of the National Council that will take the decision on when the party will conduct its parliamentary and presidential elections. We are not there yet, so I'll advise that you hasten slowly. You don't drink the soup around the fufu and wait till we get there.
And that's Evans Namaku for you, Director of Elections for the New Patriotic Party. This is Joy News, and for those of you who are watching us, this is the Accra Sports Stadium. Just a few meters away from me is the Action Center, where a lot will be happening in less than 24 hours. Over 6,000 delegates of this governing party will cast their ballots to elect national executives tomorrow. We've heard from the Director of Elections and also the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, giving us a clear roadmap towards the exercise tomorrow and beyond. We'll still be here, keep an eye on the grounds, and hear from some delegates as well who will be participating in the exercise tomorrow. But we can tell you as well that there is high level of security here. We're yet to engage the security officials as well to get a sense of what internal mechanisms they'll be putting in place to check the security conditions in the stadium ahead of that exercise. But we have confirmed that President Akufo-Addo himself, as a member of the National Council of the New Patriotic Party, will be here. We're expecting the former President, John Ajekum Kufuor, as well, to also show up. Then we know that obviously the interested parties, I'm talking about the candidates, will also show up in their numbers here. 46 of them contesting for just 10 slots of the governing New Patriotic Party. But who will it be, and who will be the victors or the vanquished at the end of the day? We'll give you all those updates on your favorite channel, Joy News. Of course, we are your election headquarters. Stay with us on this channel for more updates on the internal elections of the New Patriotic Party.